You guys have been asking for it. It's been on the to-do list for quite a while, so today we're finally going to paint these fender flares black. So the way I see it, there are basically three options for us to get these gray fender flares back to a nice black color. And I'll go over those right now. So number one, we can use some product like this Mother's Back to Black right here. Basically you just rub it on the faded plastic and it makes it look black again. The problem with that is as soon as it rains, that stuff streaks and runs off, and then after a few weeks the whole thing's just gone. You need to reapply. So I'm not going to use that. The second option is using a heat gun. So you can take a heat gun, run the heat gun back and forth across the fender, and it will bring the black color back to the surface of the fender. And I've attempted that a few times in the past, but have not had good luck with it. Basically what ends up happening is everywhere that the heat gun makes a pass and the pass overlaps, the color changes, so you get dark, then light, then dark, then light, and your whole flare ends up being a bunch of stripes. So I'm not going to use that method here. I'm going to use option number 3, which is some paint that's made specifically for plastic, just like this. Now before we get started on the paint, I want to make a few little modifications to these fender flares to fit our bigger tires. So to date, on this project, the only lift that we've installed is a 1 1/4 inch body lift, and we're still running stock springs front and rear on here. So you can see the tire is pretty close to the fender flare, and when the suspension articulates, it's very possible and highly likely that our tire is going to come into contact with our fender flare. So we're going to trim these down just a bit. We're going to take a little bit off the edge here on all 4 of them, and that'll give us a little more room for the tires to flex. So here's the before. Nice full-size flares. A little bit of a gap right there. And here's the after, all trimmed down. Gained a significant amount of clearance. Took about 1.5 inches off of the rear flare, and about 1 3/4 inches off the front flare. I'll show you on the other side exactly what I did. This was kind of a experimental side for the first round here. But I do like the look of the full flares a lot better than the trimmed down flares. However, we really needed the increased up travel, especially on the front end, for when the suspension flexes. But so far it's coming out pretty good. Like I said, I'll go through what I did on the other side, and let's go ahead and do that now. First thing we did was measure up 1 3/4 inch on the front flare. Rear flare was 1.5 inches. And then basically just drew a straight line along the top of the flare and along the back angled side of the flare, and then I used a piece of tape to help identify that line, make it a little more clear when we're trimming. And then we scribed the corners. The back I used a kind of an angle finder, basically modified to be used as a scribe, and up on the front edge I just found a nice curved piece that fit in there nicely and traced that. Then we went to town, just trimming the thing down. And pretty much that's how it came out right here, and we just used the orbital sander to go ahead and sand it down, make it nice and smooth, and I think it came out pretty well. And there we have it. Got the 1 3/4 inch cut off right down below there, and we pretty much followed all the factory curves on here. So basically just opened the opening up another 1 3/4 inch and kept the same shape. The only thing that looks a little funny is this little bottom piece in the front here, but I think that anything else would end up looking more funny. So, I could have gone across here, kept the same distance from the light, gone down here, and then maybe angle it across in the front to meet up with the fender. But I'm pretty happy with how it is. Like I said, I do like the look of the stock flares better than these trimmed flares, but we really need these for functionality. Otherwise, we're going to have to add a lift, and I'm trying to avoid adding a lift for now. But we'll see if that changes once we hit some serious trails. Alright, so here we've got the front right tire at full stuff. We got one of these ramps in the front on this side, and then the opposite on the rear back there. And that's as much as I'm able to articulate it right now. And we're actually riding on the bump stop up front, so that gives us a pretty clear idea of how far up this tire is going to be able to go. Maybe it'll go a hair further in some extreme situations, but for the most part, this is as high as the tire is going to go. You can see that I can just barely fit a finger between the tire and the flare right here, and we were 1 3/4 inch down before, so this thing would have been tucked well into the flare, and would have been probably pushing the thing up had we not trimmed it back like this. So this is definitely needed modification. Like I said though, I do prefer the look of the stock flares over the trimmed ones. And in the rear, I couldn't get the axle all the way to the bump stop. I was maybe half an inch off with these little ramps. But there was plenty of clearance back there, even with the stock flare. So I debated leaving the stock size flare in the rear and just trimming the fronts, but I decided against that because it just kind of looked a little goofy. So really, I don't think we needed to trim the rear, but just to match, we went ahead and trimmed them anyway. So with everything trimmed, we'll go ahead and paint these things up. Now, obviously, the proper way to paint these would be to remove them from the body, paint them, and then reinstall them. But that's not what I'm going to do. This is kind of a beater Jeep, and I'm not really too concerned if I get a little overspray here and there. And I've done this plenty of times before without removing the flares, and the results have been pretty good. So we're going to leave the main parts of the flare on, but we're going to remove the flare extensions on the body right here because there's a little part where they overlap where we won't be able to get paint. So we're going to pull those off now, and then I'll show you how I mask these things to paint. Then I'll wipe everything down with some wax and grease remover. This Prep All is the brand I usually use. It's pretty cheap and seems to work decent enough. Now it's time to mask these things off. So what I usually use for that are index cards. Playing cards would work fine as well. And, I think they actually may work better because the paint won't stick to them quite as much, but index cards, you can see these ones are pretty well used, and we're about to use them again. So all we need to do is just put a little bit of weight on the fender flare, and it'll pull away from the body. And you can slide the card in. It needs to go in too deep, just enough to create a barrier there. And we'll keep working our way around, and it'll take care of all our immediate masking needs, and then we'll put some paper, from here back to cover everything else and cover the tire and everything. But this is pretty much the big secret to painting these things on a vehicle. So I think I've only got enough to do one side, so I'm going to go ahead and put those all on now, and then we'll get to painting. Okay, one side down. Now we just gotta go do the other one. One thing I should have looked at before I started spraying was what type of paint that was. That was gloss black. Usually I like to do these in a satin black, but we've already got it sprayed out, so I'll just finish it out in the gloss and it'll get dusty and scratched up soon enough. One other thing to note is I like to pull these cards out before the paint dries. That way the cards won't stick to the fender flare. And here's the final product. I'll paint it up and put back together. I think it came out pretty well. There's, if you look real close, you can see a few little waves here and there where it might have been a little unsteady with the utility knife. But for the most part, we got everything finished up real well and smooth with the orbital sander after using the utility knife blade. Utility knife blade would be my preferred method for doing this. This plastic's so soft and you get the most control over utility knife blade. Could use a jigsaw, could use like a rotary tool, a Dremel, electric angle grinder, could use an air-powered cutoff wheel. The possibilities are really endless. Sawzall, who knows, but I think the utility knife is really going to give the most controlled results, and I'm pretty happy with how these came out. Now the thing that I don't like is how glossy the paint is on here. Like I said, I should have looked at the can before I started spraying, but it was just a can that I had on the shelf and it's been sitting there for the past, I don't even know, probably 2 or 3 years, and I'm not even sure what the first part of the can was used on at this point. But I ended up managing to get all of these fender flares painted with 3/4 of a can, which I'm pretty amazed with, and because it seems to have pretty decent coverage all the way through. I basically did 2 light coats on everything, and not seeing any of the gray showing through. So yeah, pretty happy with the results in that aspect. If we take a look at it from this angle, again, we can see how much clearance we gained between the tire and the fender flare. And I think this is just about all we're going to need in order to get full articulation from both front and rear axles without rubbing. Under extreme situations, we may rub a little bit. For the most part, though, I think we're going to be good. Now remember that this Jeep is still on stock suspension. We got the 1 1/4 inch body lift we installed, and these are 33 inch tires. So I'll be pretty happy if this is all we need to do to run this. In the long run, I may end up going with a 1 1/2, 2 inch suspension lift,
but we'll see about that. Really hoping to keep the stock springs for now.
Well, it's time to talk about what we spent today on this project. Today was a very cheap day. Most of it was just labor, measuring, cutting everything on the flares. That really didn't cost anything, maybe a little few strips of tape here and there, maybe a 64th of an inch worth of pencil lead, something like that. But I'm just going to call that a wash, and we'll just count the paint for today, which was about 3/4 of a can of paint that I already had, and I have no clue how much I paid for that a few years ago when I bought it, so we're just going to spitball and say $3 worth of paint that I used today. And that brings our new total for the build up to $3,577.59. And that's all we've got time for today, so as usual, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. And always appreciate a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already.